from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
You see electric vehicles everywhere in Colorado. To document Colorado's journey towards zero emissions, me and my coworkers took a road trip in a Nissan Leaf across the state. Along the way, we spoke with Coloradans from every walk of life, how it affects their lives and their environment. We set out to see if you can really make it through all of Colorado's landscapes with an EV. That means electric vehicle.
The jungle has its rules, and I just try to keep it cool.
I was just hooked. There is not a lot of sensations like it. Being in jet aircraft, something like that. Hi, I'm Nigel. I'm from Boulder, Nissan. Questions I get are, how far will it go on a charge? How long does it take to charge? What happens in the cold weather? What happens going into mountains? People have range anxiety. We'll say, well, how far do you go in a day? Well, I do 40. Okay, then what's the matter with 150? Honestly, for me, I've been driving it for 9 years and I genuinely have range serenity now. I mean, it drives like any other car, but it just happens to be electric.
My name is Will Tour, and I'm the Executive Director of the Colorado Energy Office. One of the really important things to making the transition to EVs is having people understand sort of what's true today versus what was true a decade ago.
What's the matter if these cars are $10? If you don't have the demand from people because you haven't gone out and spoken to people and not going to know it works for them. Whether they buy from me or not, I've just sent someone out educated about electric cars. And that's the ideal way of doing it, is just to speak to lots of people.
This is how driving should feel. The tech-advanced Nissan Leaf, the best-selling electric vehicle of all time.
Totally silent.
That's incredible.
Now, if I want to accelerate hard, you could just do
Oh my gosh!
and then you just take off. Right? How lovely is it?
It feels really smooth. It feels really good.
Yeah, it's an EV bug. Once bitten, forever smitten.
I am bitten.
Turn next left.
On 25 and a half road. Do you guys see this? Oh, there it is. K2 taxi, green.
We have people that have been riding with us since day one. Anybody and everybody needs to get around. I got out of the Army in 2012. My brother had already started the company.
We started in 2011, and when we started, we had 3 cars that were gas cars because the electric vehicles weren't really cost effective at that point. Very quickly, we realized maintenance was one of the highest expenses in the taxi industry. We would spend a fortune on the gas cars once they got to 100,000 miles, and we've got electric cars upwards of 80 where really all we've done is swap the tires. The electric cars, just not a lot goes wrong with them.
There's so little that goes wrong with them. There's about 30 moving parts in it. There's over 2,000 in a gasoline car.
So you should save significant money on maintenance of the vehicles. And in most cases, what you're going to see is a lower total cost of ownership.
Now, if we get low on power, we just take them back and swap them out.
So you would say that it's pretty easy to have an electric vehicle
Yes,
around here?
yes. Our competitor, they don't have any electric cars.
We have a comparable benefits system to some of the biggest employees in the county.
To continue on that path was to remove that independent contractor system and hire all of our drivers. So now everybody's employees. We're very competitive in the local job market, and we owe most, if not all of that, to the savings that these vehicles have provided us.
Yeah, the money that we saved on the maintenance directly went into making what it is to be a taxi driver better, and that leads to better people, better service for everybody, not just for the drivers, but for all the fares in the valley who want to ride.
Yeah. You know, I'm not a genius. We got lucky. We said, let's try something different, and we are changing the game. Not just here. I do my research. There is not an all-electric taxi fleet in the United States.
We had a leak because a plastic piece broke the night before I was due with our second child. So like 2 in the morning, we're like running around, mopping up water, trying to make it not destroy the house.